changed in the world.
WeatherScope.
We haven't reached the midpoint of November yet, but winter weather is starting to hit all across the country. Good evening and welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Dave Schwartz. Snow is already falling in the central U.S. and the Midwest, while rain plagues areas of the southeast, and a cold rain it was. A storm system moving up the East Coast may create a messy mix of precipitation. Now, with more on that, let's turn to Jeff Morrow in the Forecast Center.
Dave, at this point, I think it's a given that we are going to get some significant wintry precipitation across parts of interior New England, back across upstate New York, and even into parts of northern and central Pennsylvania. This is the first significant storm of the season as far as wintry weather is concerned, and I definitely think by this time tomorrow night we're going to see some really messy travel conditions. Let's go ahead and show you first of all what this storm did in its formative stages. This is kind of the western fringe of this system. St. Louis did get some snow, some wet snow, about 2 inches officially at the airport. Now that was a record for the date. Perhaps a little unusual this early in November to be getting significant snow. Again, 2 inches didn't really cause any significant road problems. Down toward the Lake of the Ozarks, they got about 1 to 3, but I don't think those blooms are going to last much longer, particularly with the big cold air mass which will be coming down behind this whole system. Now, probably one of the catalysts here is a low pressure area in the northern plains, and rotating around that are several disturbances, and moisture laden, I guess is the best way to put that. And as all that moisture rides up into a rather cold air mass here over the southern Great Lakes, upper Ohio Valley, and parts of New England and New York State, that is where we run into some of the wintry problems. And when you get that kind of an overrunning situation, the moisture running up and over the cold air here, that is where we're talking about sleet and freezing rain, where you see the pink shading, and the white will be mostly snow. And here to talk about this whole mess is Matt Crowther. He is a senior meteorologist here at the Weather Channel. Matt, looks like a mess as we head on into tomorrow morning and during the day tomorrow.
Mess is a good way to describe it. Also from a forecasting point of view, this hasn't been an easy storm to forecast.
No.
Sometimes we have just one system, one upper level system coming in, but on this one we have all sorts of little disturbances. It's making for a bit of a forecast, but it's coming a bit better into focus right now.
Yeah, we're just getting some new computer information in. Let's go ahead and show the folks, first of all, the current weather map, and we can see what's going on now. Then try to give us an idea of what we might expect as we head into the morning.
One of the key players here is this high pressure system up over the northeast. There's some very cold and very dry air, and the dry air will help keep some of the precipitation on the frozen side for the next 24 hours. But as you mentioned, a lot of moisture coming up along this warm front and this low pressure system. This low pressure system right here is going to be weakening with time, and a brand new low is just starting to form. We've been looking at some of the latest information, and we are getting a low pressure system forming where it usually does in the nor'easter type situation off the Carolinas. It will be moving slowly up the coast, and we probably might even have a kind of a double-barreled low pressure system. One is going to be kind of just off in New England and one further out, but the net result is going to be a lot of what we call overrunning precipitation all through here, and with that cold, dry air dome already in place, looks like a lot of heavy snow. Some of our computer numbers up there in Albany, where Mike Seidel is going to be reporting tomorrow, it looks like he could get up to a foot of snow, perhaps, especially just to the north of Albany, maybe up towards Glens Falls, and those same kind of amounts maybe all the way down toward, say, the northern tier of New York. Binghamton might get a big dump of snow.
All right, so some heavy wet snow with this system. Let's go ahead and show the folks, first of all, the radar a little bit farther on out to the west. Indianapolis appears to be tapering off. We saw some of the snow around St. Louis. I think there was about 3 here at Indianapolis, 2 in St. Louis. But it looks like the real heavy precipitation now in Ohio and western Pennsylvania.
That's right. On some of our computer models, we're getting a lot of what we call vertical motion is indicated. And an indication of that is all this heavier activity in here. And some of that is even thunder. And I wouldn't be surprised to have a little bit of thunder snow or thunder sleet in parts of the Northeast. And I think right in here we had some thunder reported in Charleston, West Virginia. And this whole little comma-shaped cloud is an indication of one of those upper-level disturbances. And already getting a lot of snow breaking out. Some of that's not reaching the ground yet, but don't worry, it will pretty soon.
All right, now we do want to mention for the major cities in the Northeast, particularly Philly, definitely D.C., Baltimore, and probably New York, it'll probably mainly be a rainstorm.
That's right, although some of the northern and western suburbs might get a little bit sleep. Probably not Washington, a little bit better chance in Philly, a little bit better chance in New York and the northern western suburbs. Boston's a little more dicey. They're in some of the colder and drier air, so except right along the coastline, maybe out toward the western suburbs of Boston, especially Worcester in that area, could get a lot of messy type weather, sleet, freezing rain, and maybe some heavy snow.
All right, so it looks like a mess no matter which way you slice it. We'll keep you updated here. Thanks, Matt. All right, let's go first of all and remind you that you can always check out everything about the weather, at least upon this storm, and really the weather around the world on weather.com, our website. Right now, let's go back to Dave. He has a look at the rest of the nation's messy weather.
Thank you, Jeff. We had a lot of messy weather, and it didn't have to do with freezing rain, sleet, or snow, but just plain old rain in areas where you might expect sunny and warm weather in the Sun Belt. It began raining in San Diego late this morning, prompting many drivers to slow down. And as you can see here, some business owners were using sandbags to prevent the water from entering their places. The showers have diminished, however, tonight. On the opposite side of the country, many were seeing a similar picture. Damp, dismal day, stratus clouds, cumulonimbus clouds. Drivers had their lights on, and there was a lot of flooding in the Tampa metropolitan area and in other spots in northern and central